a continuation of our topic, how advertising, publications, and presentation skills enhance public relations. Welcome to Your Image, a public relations program on television. We're glad to connect with you this week. And I still have my guests. To my far right is Pastor Dare Folani, a veteran public relations professional, a former Chief Press Secretary to the government of Ogun State, an editor of Nigerian Gateway newspaper, and of course, a man who has traversed the corporate world, bearing his experience on so many platforms. So I'm glad to welcome him back to this platform this week.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And with me too, we have Shukuma Chon, the man who runs an academy, who's interested in upgrading the youth, their talent, their vision, and also enhancing their capability to be an effective communicator, to be able to run programs that will add value to the society and all. You are welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here again.
Glad to have you. His twin brother, who's also in the business of engendering a better understanding of effective communication, particularly to make it a distinct profession, is Johnson Idowu. Johnson Idowu, you're welcome.
Good evening.
Last week,
Pleasure.
it's a pleasure having you once again. Last week, we thank you for the responsibility of coming up with a very distinct approach to showcasing honesty while you are the PRO of the Student Union of Moshood Abiola Polytechnic. Let's come back to our discussion. And we were trying to get a concise differences between advertising and public relations. Pastor Fulani, I understand that advertising has a key role to play and public relations has a key role to play. Can you broaden our scope on this?
Okay. For obvious reasons, I like to start with PR.
Okay.
PR is reputation management.
Okay.
You know, you initiate action to have mutual understanding between an organization and its various publics.
Okay.
And then you use this, you can do this through various means. And where advertising is paid for communication, you know, paid for communication, and it is geared towards the bottom line, you know, to enhance profitability, to enhance purchase of a particular product or service. And you know, so the PR person has, like we say, is of oranges and apples. If you want a good job done, you get a professional PR person to handle your account or to handle your whatever service you want to promote, and then you get value, good value for it. But what we see is that because of some people wants to cause corners, they may now employ quacks to do the job for them. This is not good enough. So PR offers you a lot, you know, in managing your reputation, promoting your services, and then you can always also use various channels to get your communication across. You can use radio, you can use TV, you can use outdoor, you can use the social media, and you can use the newsletter. You know, the newsletter, you can use pamphlets, you can use anything, but it will be targeted communication to a specific group and designed to initiate an action. So that's the thing. And then, you know, you can also use, you know, events, shows. You have brand ambassadors. In a company where I once served, we use brand ambassadors, popular brands, popular Nollywood actors, so we make use of them to communicate the brand equity and the brand value and the brand promise. So there is a fit between the product and the perceived image of these ambassadors. So there's a lot you can do. That's a lot.
Taking it from you, there's a lot an advertiser can do, and there's a lot a public relations man can do. But we know that for us to have value for an organization where we serve, what are the other extensions of public relations service that you can provide?
To add to what he has said, I feel that
let me even cut in.
okay.
I have asked this question because I know that a properly tutored public relations person is supposed to take on the stakeholders, to understand the stakeholders, their demands, their expectations, and how they can be fulfilled. We talk about the issue of profitability. Of course, all the stakeholders will have invested one way or the other, and for them to have created time, for them to have funded the activities of a corporate entity, then they also need to be rewarded. Yeah. Now, I'm asking this question because when an advertiser will have promoted the products or services of the company, what are the other extensions or other activities that a PR man is supposed to carry out to add value to that organization?
All right. You see, the beauty of public relations is that it covers a large number of stakeholders. Okay. In fact, if I decide to classify PR, I would subdivide it into community relations, Good. Media relations, Good. Government relations,
stakeholders management.
In fact, employee relations, a lot. In fact, in PR, there's what we call corporate social responsibility, CSR.
And you also have to manage the regulator too.
Of course.
For some people, yeah.
You see, in PR, the publics are so diverse that you should be able to critically understand each and every one of them, know their strengths, their weaknesses, and be able to satisfy it. That is something it has over most of all the marketing strategies. It has that ability to cover every aspect. As a PR person, you should be able to realize that you're not meant to even sit. You should be up and doing at every time.
So that's research.
A lot.
Research, analyzing trends.
You analyze, you research,
consequences.
A lot. Yeah. You must be able to take every aspect. You have to understand your employees because they are part of those that sell you.
Yeah.
If your employees are grumpy, then they are going to sell a bad image about you to the public or to the outsiders.
Thank you very much, John.
Not only the employees, also even families of the employees, they are part of an organization purpose. Okay. I will come in from the angle of a PR objective.
Okay.
As a PR person for an organization, you must have your objective, and your objective will be drawn from the corporate objective of the organization.
The vision.
Yes.
The mission
statement, and how do you want to achieve these things? Okay. It's when you understand the corporate objective of the organization you are working for, then you set your own objective as a PR to achieve the objective of the organization, and that is where research comes in. PR revolves around research. From the first stage to the last stage, you must keep carrying out research. There are stages that you will need to modify. There are stages that you need to discard the efforts that you've put in place. There are stages that you need to adopt the efforts that you have put in place. So as a PR person, it's not just an armchair something, or you sit down in the office expecting magic to happen. No, it is a very broad concept, and it requires someone who has a broad knowledge. Like our senior colleague has said, Pastor Folarin, PR is not for quack. It is not something that you just come in, I know how to write content, I know how to speak English, I can talk to people. No, even when you know what to say, you must understand the mood at which you must say it. You must understand the audience, the language you must tell the audience, those people you want to talk to. All these things must be put into place as a PR person, and that still borders on adequate research.
Yeah, I appreciate the place of research. Not only, even within you, you need to do a little bit of research to find out how people have accepted you. Not to talk for an organization where you are now relating with the public. You are shunning out products and services which should meet people's expectation. Thank you for that submission. Pastor Folarin, what is the place of technology? Before I even go to that, we are looking at publications. What is the place of publications in the PR activities? And what are the purposes? What are they supposed to achieve for a PR man?
publications are very germane to the work of PR, because it is through these publications that you communicate your values, both to your internal audience, that those are your workers, the staff, to management, then to all your stakeholders, the consumers, the regulators, the agencies, then
delivering the objectives,
delivering
and
the objectives,
engaging them to know how to go through the processes.
Yes, as strategically.
Relationship.
Build relationships, and then to generate trust. Once the trust is very necessary. And that's why PR is about honesty. PR is about honest communication of the values of the brand. Don't go and lie that you can, this brand can deliver this. And once they buy it, they buy the product and they don't get value for their money, they will churn. They will just reject the product. It will injure the brand more if you lie. So it's about communicating value in an honest manner. So we encourage people to, the role of public relations is understressed in the society. PR can do a lot to help the society, to help an individual himself, because you need self-PR. You need to project your image very well. You need integrity. Then PR can help the society too, so that we will have peace. There will be peace and development in the society. PR can help government. PR can help the churches a lot. PR can do a lot.
Yes, thank you so much, Pastor Fulani. You have just struck something in my mind. We believe that public relations is a management function.
It is.
But of course, that is not the practice in most entities. And of course, that has brought series of crises, misunderstanding, and failure to meet people's expectation. When should a PR man be part of an organizational activity?
All right, thank you. As a PR practitioner, right from the moment that organization is built, that is when you need a PR person. The moment you're about to establish an organization, you need a PR person. Because just like he said earlier, my colleague, he said it involves research. You conclude with research. Even to come up with the title of your organization is an image. The name sells. And remember, in PR, we want to project an image that would correlate, that will build a relationship with the audience. How do you expect to tell me that the name of your company is Ebola Industry? I'll be scared to come there. I'll be scared to patronize any of your product. Okay. So right from when you want to even register the name of your, you need a PR person.
So it should be a foundation person.
It is the foundation.
And beyond the foundation, it should be part and parcel of the corporate activities.
Every single activity you take place in that organization must involve a PR person.
Okay, thank you so much. Johnson, it strikes my mind that when companies produce products, they come up with information that are not verifiable, that are not credible, that are not facts. What role should a PR man be involved?
A PR person for an organization plays several roles. A PR person must play the role of an advisory person, because when you want to...
I'm relating it to a product or service.
Yes,
now.
I would like to say this, that there's a general maxim in advertising that no good advert can sell a bad product twice. If you package your product very well, and at the end of the day, people bought the product and realized that what they are buying is not what you promised them, they won't come back, no matter how good your advert is.
The customers are not rewarded.
So there will not be a repeat. They are not. It is a normal thing. If I should pay for something and I'm not getting value for what I paid for, I won't go back to get that product again. That is why it is the PR person must have the role of an advisory person. When you are giving out promises to people about a product, you must make sure that that product is able to satisfy that promise. It must fulfill that promise, because at the end of the day, you are doing more harm than good with what you are doing by making promises that people cannot get value for what you promised them. Then that is where you see people now going back to remedial PR. And it is better to have set the ground and prevent remedial PR in the first instance, because the damage may.
What do you mean by remedial PR?
Remedial PR is that
Damage
we have
control.
a situation whereby a bad situation has occurred. We are now looking for a way to sort it out. It is better to engage in preventive PR. You prevent a bad situation from coming up rather than looking for remedy.
Absolutely.
But we have a lot of crises happening in the corporate world. Could it be attributed to the fact that there is not information surveillance? There is not enough research being carried out. Even let us even relate it to government. The populace are complaining.
I'd like to take that. Crisis is part of human being. Crisis is part of our life. Even it is often said that the tongue and the teeth too, they do fight. Okay. So it is employing PR tools to resolve whatever conflicts you have, and that's dialogue. You just use PR tools to dialogue, and so there will always be conflicts. So
at governmental level, does it mean that PR has failed?
Yeah, well, maybe they are not using, the tools of PR very well. And ego too comes in. That at the governmental level, ego of the principals, ego of the participants. Look at some of the things that they are fighting over. They are even non-issues. So this is what they should resolve, through PR.
This is Your Image, a public relations program on TV. We are enjoying our guests who have been talking on how advertising, publications, and presentation skills enhance public relations. The issue of presentation skills, we have seen that a lot of CEOs are always afraid to appear in the public, particularly for public speaking, or to present them for programs where they can positively impact on the image of their entities. What do you feel is contributing to this lapse?
Okay, I would like to look at it from this particular perspective. Most CEOs, if I'm to use that term, or should I say entrepreneurs or owners of businesses, okay, most of them found themselves in positions of authority, probably because of their ability to manage people in a closed area. Okay. When they realized that their ideas, their communication would be transmitted to a large audience, they developed this jitter, should I call it cold feet?
Phobia?
Someone called it, is it glossophobia or what? The fear of public speaking. Okay. Now, I would say that what they need to do
So how should a PR man prepare the CEO?
Good. Now, as a PR person, your first duty is to let the CEO realize that for him to be called a CEO, for her to be called a CEO, everybody wants to listen to what he or she wants to say. That out of every nonsense, that sense is what they want. When you give them that assurance that they can, that for them to have that particular position, then they want it. Then they will have that mindset that yes, they can face the public.
So
when you
assure them,
you said
practice.
Okay.
Yes.
Practice. Yes. The thing is they can learn. There are refresher courses. These organizations can organize refresher courses for CEOs. Then there are courses that they can attend on how to meet the press, how to answer the print journalists, how to answer the broadcast journalists. Because there are various ways in answering them. How to answer the social media guy. So and public speaking is a skill that they must have, that most CEOs must have. CEOs, politicians, senators, all the rest, they must have. So design courses for them and let them come and attend these courses. Like design courses for CEOs so that they can break the ice, so to speak.
Just like you said, sir, it still borders on training, because we cannot. Public speaking is an art and is a skill. There are people who are naturally public speakers. They don't have fear when it comes to addressing the public. But there are people who don't have the gift. So they just need to improve on themselves. It is the duty of the PR person who understand the importance of communicating effectively with the public to let the CEO realize the need for training. If you realize that your CEO is not someone who is outspoken, you must prepare the ground for that person, because it is not in every situation that the PR person will be the one speaking for the organization. There are times that the CEO also will need to come out and talk. So we must prepare your boss ahead of such situation.
Let me corroborate you. When we were in service, I used to take time out to enlighten the CEO on the step-by-step of engaging the public. At times, I come up with speeches and ask the man to look at it. Day by day, he improves. At times, when he will have to appear, you know, they have the phobia of even meeting the press.
Yeah.
So I always try as much as possible to engage him, to let him into the tactics, the approach, and the expectation of the media. So those are the activities that a PR man must first of all educate himself.
Because you can't give what you don't have.
If you lack those things, then you will not be able to deliver to the CEO. And that encourages, emboldens the CEO to understand the ethics and the codes with which you can relate with the media. Of course, media relations is very, very important, because no matter how successful your organization is, you still need some ladders to climb, and media is a ladder. All this advertising that we're talking about is a ladder. Yeah. And of course, it is when you begin to run the ladder that you'll be able to now meet the corporate goal. So in essence, we're charging public relations practitioners to ensure that they must also educate, upgrade themselves to a particular point in time that they will groom their CEOs and give them the confidence that is required. Your image public relations program is still on, and we're glad you are still with us. This place, this program, this platform is open for your sponsorship. Place adverts to let us advertise and expand the scope of your products and services. Of course, you are encouraged to be part of this program, to come and highlight the values which your organizations have been adding to the public, how you are growing the nation, how you are growing individuals, to come and showcase talents within your employ, and we are here to do that. Thank you very much, Pastor Dare Folani.
Yeah, before I go, I would like to talk about technology.
No, we are not even going now.
Okay.
I'm appreciating all that you have said.
Oh, okay.
And the area of technology.
Yeah, technology is immense, you know, because the digital media, the global village. The world is a global village. As something is happening now, right now, in 30 seconds, it's gone viral. So the power that we have now is awesome. So, and we are deploying this power, the power of the digital communication is awesome. So that's why you can have, the Ogun State governor was in London the other day, yesterday. The pictures were out. Before, it could take 3 days. So now, whatever you do, and that's how brand's image can be damaged. Just like that, your image can be damaged in the twinkling of an eye. So we should be careful about things like that.
In a short comment, how can the PR professionals grapple with this new technology?
I believe that PR practitioners should be able to understand the various angles of this new digital innovation. And by the time they understand the good side, the bad side, they should be able to tap from it and get prepared for the so-called consequences, because definitely the technology would have its good and bad side. So as practitioners, when they fully understand the digital world, then they will be able to work on the good side and prevent the negative aspects.
Your last shot.
The technological aspect is a beneficial aspect for a PR person who is prepared.
Who is prepared?
Prepared. Because you must position yourself in the technological world. You must position yourself. You must watch out for trend. Then, as a PR person, you capitalize on this trend to boost the image of your organization. So it borders that a PR person must be prepared at all time for understanding the benefits that can be tapped from
Thank
technology.
you very much. A PR man is supposed to equip himself, upgrade himself, and adapt with the changes in the society. That will grow the society, it will grow the corporate entity, it will grow you as a practitioner. Thank you very much. Next week, when we come up with another program and another topic, please enjoy yourself.